Hello everybody, welcome to my live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Laura Roderick. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I am here in San Antonio, Texas. It's still hot here. It's not fall yet. It was 94 driving home from work today, but sunny, so can't complain. Best wishes to everybody in Florida. I hope people have been able to evacuate and are going to be safe. We'll be thinking of everybody there. So it's tough. 2 hurricanes in a row, and the first one was devastating. So I've been having Florida on my mind a lot, as I'm sure everybody else is too. So wishing everyone the best there. So I have a fun video tonight. Thank you for joining me. We're going to do some very pretty cards tonight. At least I think they're pretty. So let's first talk about our share and our comment contest, and then we'll get started on making some cards. Okay, so every week I do a contest, and for a long time now, I've just been doing comments. So if you make a comment, you're entered into the contest. You can make the comment either on one of my Facebook pages, or you can make the comment also on YouTube when my YouTube video posts, which I do immediately following this video. Then I post to YouTube right away, and then I post to my Facebook business page right after. Anyway, I pick from everybody who commented, and last week I said I would give away this Faceted Gems Trio Pack. Very, very pretty. I can see this with some snowflake cards, right? And so the winner from this week was Jeanne Kohler. So Jeanne, if you send me your address, I'll put these in the mail for you this week. So thank you for commenting, and thank you everybody who comments. I love seeing your comments. It's really fun. So I really appreciate it. So thank you. So this week, what I'm going to give away, I have a package of the peppermint adhesive back peppermints. And these are still on back order, I think till about the 14th. So I have a packet I'm giving away. All you have to do is make a comment, and then I'll enter you in the contest, and we'll pull a winner the next time I'm on, which won't be next week, but it'll be the week after. All right, let me turn my camera around and let's get stamping. All right, so still struggling with the far awayness of everything, but I decided, and I was playing with it again last night, and I got it to work a couple times where I was up close. So I'm going to let it sit this way for a minute, and then I'm going to try to zoom in, so we'll see. I want to mention a couple things before we get started. Number one, there is a stamp sale going on right now. And I think it's the 7th, 8th, and 9th. I was just looking when I was about to go on, and I was running a little behind, and I was like, oh, I did not download or print that flyer to see, but actually I have it right over here in my project measurement sheet, and it is the 7th through the 9th 3-day stamp sale. It is all the stamps in the annual catalog, not in the mini, not online exclusives, just in the annual catalog. Okay, so that stamp sale is going on right now. It's up to 15% off the stamp. So if there's something from your wish list in the annual catalog, now's a great time to get it. It does not include the dies, just the stamps. Also, all the kits are up to 30% off. So if you have a favorite kit, great time to order. I just ordered the 2 new kits from the online exclusives that are available to demonstrators, but they just came today, so I haven't really had a chance to open them or look at them or anything like that. So I can't wait to see what those kits really look like. I'm excited. It's the Alpine Air Kit and the Look Back Kit, which is a little journal. So hopefully I can get those together by the next time I go on, so I can kind of show you what those are. Also, starter kit special, you guys. They have this a couple times a year. It's a little bit different every time. So the starter kit special right now, you can get $155 worth of products for only $99 plus tax. Shipping is free. All you have to do is sign up with Stampin' Up. Don't be intimidated by it saying you can be that you'll be a demonstrator, because you don't have to do anything. Hi Sharon, how are you? You don't have to do anything. You can just be you know, a discount shopper and get your discount, which is great. And that's how I started out, and I love doing it. No one's going to pressure you and say, hey, you should sell. Nothing like that. There's no pressure. But it's great to get the discount. It's nice to be able to pre-order the products a month in advance. There's so many advantages to being a demonstrator, and I love it. I'm looking forward to the next trip, which is going to be in March, because last year we had such a fun time in Houston. Anyway, the whole month, sign up. You can be on my team. That would be awesome. I would love that. Okay, tonight's projects. We're working out of the mini catalog tonight. So, I thought it would be fun. This is the Autumn Expressions is the suite we're going to use. Not the suite, pardon me, the bundle, okay? So we have the stamp set, we have the dies, but instead of bundling it with this paper right here, the Splendid Autumn paper, sometimes I struggle with the ones that look like photographs, and it's a little bit hard for me. So I didn't pair it with this. Instead, I went to the one before, the Regal Winter, and I love this set. These papers are so beautiful, and I paired everything with gold, and this beautiful gold and Blackberry Bliss ribbon. So those are the projects that we're going to make tonight. Let me show them to you. And nothing crazy, just basic cards tonight, 3 of them. 2 of them are fun folds, but ones that we've done before, so nothing too fancy, but I think they're really pretty. This one says Grateful for You, and this one is predominantly Blackberry Bliss, which I think is really pretty. These are very dark colors tonight, right? We're also going to do this one, This Change Can Be Beautiful, and this is a little fun fold there. May the beauty of the season fill your heart with joy. So that's our second card that we're going to make. And then we're going to do this one too. Have a perfectly lovely day. And this is a gatefold. And that one is just going to open like this. And it says, you've got this, dear friend. So those are the 3 cards that we're going to make tonight. No coloring tonight this time, right? Everything gets mixed up a little all the time. We're doing something different here and there. No coloring tonight. But we're going to do a lot of embossing. So I think that's fun. Okay. All right, you guys, so here is up close and personal. You know what, let me try and zoom in now, see if it works. And it worked on my phone, but it did not carry, wait, it did, but now I've got the ceiling. Let me see if I can flip it around. Let's try that. Okay, now it flipped around, but not yet on my, there we go. And it's back to far away. All right, let me try one more time. Nope. Got the ceiling again. Why? Hang in there, you guys. It's going to flip back. Okay, give it a second to catch up. There's always a delay between what I do and what shows up. Okay. Fine. Be that way, Facebook. We're just going to be far away again. I hate that. I like it when it's much up closer. Okay, here is the stamp set. All right, very gorgeous. I think these are just beautiful fonts. I really wanted to use this, but I didn't have anything to fall because I feel like I really love this stamp right here. But here are the dies that go with it. So we're going to use some of these dies. I particularly like this leaf. We've got this little fern die. Then we have this die right here, and I'll show you that as we go through it. The little chains. Fun, right? Okay. So that's what we're going to use. Here are the pieces for our first card tonight. All right, so we are going to start. We've got a lot of gold tonight. We're going to start with the Blackberry Bliss card base. All right, and this is our standard card base. It's 8.5, 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then this is 5 1/4 by 4. This is just basic white for the inside. So we will set that aside for a second, and we'll talk about the other layers. I have this big piece right here, and this gold sheet is 6 by 4, and we're going to die cut out of that. All right, so I'll show you what we're going to do with that. We're going to also die cut out of this piece. And then here's a couple layers. So this first layer is 5 1/4 by 4. This is the gold foil. Then we're going to take a piece of that Regal Winter DSP. This is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And we're just going to layer that up, and then we'll put it on the front of our card. So let me get some adhesive, and let's do that. Anything new with anybody this week? Anybody have anything going on? I'm getting ready for my trip, so I'm gonna leave Thursday to go to Chicago, see my kids and grandkids, and we are going to, from the south suburbs of Chicago, we are going to be road tripping to Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. It's about 5 hours away, to do Halloweekends in the really amazing theme park. So I'm excited about that. We did that a couple years ago. We went for the Halloween one and it was amazing and awesome. And my granddaughter Emmeline, who is 3, loves Halloween. So we're all looking forward to the trip. It's going to be really fun. Okay, so this is kind of our card base completed. All right, now we're also going to do some die cutting out of this and some die cutting out of that. So let me show you everything that we're going to die cut, okay? We'll get out our pieces. So this big die right here, we're going to go ahead and die cut out of the gold. And when that's finished, let me show you what we've got here. After we send it through the machine, we have this piece right like this, okay? Isn't that nice? That's so pretty. All right, so we have that piece. Then we're going to take the chain and we're going to do it out of this other piece of gold. And then we're going to do this leaf. And I think I'm doing 2 of the leaves because we're going to do one for the inside, okay? So 2 leaves, 2 of the little ferns. All right, so line this up and cut it, send it through twice because you're going to have to cut out that other leaf right there. And then this is petal pink, and I think it's just a little 2x2 scrap, and we're going to cut out 2 of these ferns, okay? So let me get my pieces out for that. So, whoops, wrong color. Hold on. We're going to do that one for a different card. Let me get my petal pink ones. Okay, 2 petal pink, 2 gold leaves. We need our chain, which is right here. All right, so that's all these pieces. Let me put my dies away before I lose one. Do you ever, have you ever lost a die? That just panics me every time because you're like, it's always something that you think is a really important die, right? And it's so frustrating. But so far I found everything that I've lost. So sometimes they get stuck to magnets. Okay, so this other piece of Blackberry Bliss, hold on, I just dropped it on the floor. Okay, so there's 2 sides to this, right? So one is kind of skinny and one has a little bit fatter of a thing. And they also cut out 2 different sizes. You can see one is a little bit bigger than the other one. So it cuts out 2 different sizes. This big one goes in here. So when you cut out the purple one, when you cut out both of them, you're going to have the inside and the outside, right? So this cuts out like this. The gold one will cut out like this. All right. Save these pieces for another time. We're just going to use the gold frame and the larger one of the Blackberry Bliss. Okay. So all these other pieces we can save for another card. All right. Now, I think we have all our pieces. So what you're going to do with this piece is just, again, we want the larger one, which means it has the skinnier frame, and we're just going to cut out just that side, just like this, all right? Just line it up and cut that out, and then you're going to get your inside of your Blackberry Bliss. All right, that's all we did. Okay. So now we have all our pieces, and what we need to do is we need to do a little bit of embossing. All right, we're going to do Grateful for You. And one thing that I think is really important, and I've just started doing this because I don't always remember, when you have a darker color like this or the Night of Navy, you really want to use the embossing buddy. So that comes in a little kit. You can order it because you don't want to have any of the static because those little gold specks will show up on the darker color. So I've got a little bit of that on there. Now I'm going to get my Versamark out. And we said Grateful for You. So I'm going to stamp that in Versamark. And it fits pretty well. I can even put it just a tiny bit to the left since I'm going to put some greenery over here. But let's see. Okay, looks good. Let's sprinkle a little bit of gold magic on it, and then we're going to heat emboss it. Okay, you don't have to do it twice, but I always do because I don't know why. I just do. Okay, now, if you find you have any little specks, you can go ahead and take the brush that also comes with the kit, the embossing kit, and just kind of brush it off. Okay, we don't want anything to be on there extra that doesn't need to be there. And then you can take your reverse tweezers to hold it so you don't burn yourself while you're embossing. All right, let me get out the heat tool. Doesn't reach that far because it's fell between the cabinet. Do you guys like to heat emboss? I think it's so beautiful. It's one of my favorite things to do. It just always comes out so nice and looks so good and professional when you're done. And especially the metallics. They're just so pretty. Okay. Make sure I've got all the spots. Don't want to miss anything. All right, look, pretty, right? Let me hold it up a little bit better so you can see it. I think it looks really pretty. Okay. All right, keep this handy for the next one. Now we just have to put things together. So it's the bigger one, so it's going to be in the skinnier frame. So we're going to cut off the frame that we're not using, and you can just cut it right in the middle. You can see the little score lines already. Now another thing you could do is you could just fold this over if you wanted to, and that will help. You can see how it can help hold it in place, right? Because you can put the glue right there. So you're actually gluing this part to the part back there. Which you can do that way. What I'm going to do is just flip it over and add some dimensionals because I'm going to pop it up on the card with dimensionals. Okay, so I've got this skinny one, and I want this on the bottom, so this will be on the top. Grateful for you. So I'm just going to line it up so it's inside, and then I'm going to get some dimensionals and secure it with dimensionals. So let me just make sure I get close to the edge, but not over the edge. So a couple different ways you can do it. And since I want this popped up anyway, that's a nice, easy way to do it. And then I'm going to add a couple in the middle just to give it a little bit more stability. All right, and then we're going to pop this up the card on our card, probably closer to the bottom, because we're still going to have the chain coming off the top and a little bit of a bow at the top. So let me decide where we want to put that. Probably right about here. Okay, now that looks good. It's all nice and popped up. All right, now let's glue the chain. So the chain's going to go right here, but because this is popped up, I want to pop up right here. Now, I'm going to use a little bit of a mini dimensional, and it is going to show through, but we're going to put a bow over it, so I'm really not too worried about it. All right, so let's get that, and then I need a little bit of glue. Try not to lose any pieces here. Yeah, so it's going to be different being in Chicago at the end of the week because, like I said, it's still in the 90s here, and I feel like we're going to get some cooler weather. As a matter of fact, I had to pull out a coat. I'm like, I should probably bring a coat because it gets a little chilly at night, especially in Sandusky. You know, when you're at the amusement park, it's on a peninsula, so you're surrounded three sides by water, so you get that cooler, you know, effect from the water too. So I had to find a coat to bring with, and closed shoes, right? I'm used to wearing flip-flops all the time. I have to wear real shoes next week. Crazy, right? Okay, that's pretty good. All right, now we want to take these two little things and we're going to stamp on these. So let me get a little scrap. This one's kind of messy. Sorry, I got a few things going on here. But all we want to do is we're going to take some sponge daubers, and I'm going to use two different colors. So you can kind of see the way it's colored in here, maybe some of them. So you have kind of that like petal pinkish background, and then there's a little bit of purple, right? So it looks like a little Blackberry Bliss, a little bit of Fresh Freesia on there. So we're going to try and replicate that look a little bit by using a couple of sponge daubers and a little bit of ink. So I'm going to start with the lighter color, which is Fresh Freesia. And very lightly, I don't want to go crazy with this. Wait, where's the ink? Come on. But I do want to color it so it's not kind of the same pink all over. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And now let's take some Blackberry Bliss, and because this one's so much darker, I really want to be careful. And I kind of want to just kind of brush the ends a little bit. So, and not get too nutty with this. Okay. Sometimes I think more is better, but then other times I think less is better. Okay. So you can kind of see how we've colored those here. Hold it up for a second just so you can kind of see what that ended up looking like, which I think is really pretty. Now, have you guys played with these yet? I just got these this week. I couldn't believe I didn't order those before. I was looking for them and looking for them. I'm like, I can't believe I didn't order those. Especially considering how much I like gold. So these are the woven golden leaves. They're absolutely beautiful. I mean, they're way prettier like in person when you see them, the sheen, and they have a little texture. You can kind of see the lines. They're just so pretty. There's two different sizes. So there's some bigger ones and smaller ones. Let me pull out some of the smaller ones too. I'll just leave a little pile here because we're going to be using multiples of those. And I think they look really pretty against the dark colors too. Okay. Whoa. Yeah, I wish I could get zoomed in. It's so annoying. And it's obviously not a setting because I'm able to do it sometimes. So I don't know what the deal is. And I'm wondering now, should I use a different platform and maybe not Facebook? Should I go live on YouTube? Thinking through all the options. Okay, so we can just go ahead and put this piece. I didn't stamp a sentiment on the inside, but certainly you could. I was thinking for this one, I might try and either find a Happy Thanksgiving stamp or just write Happy Thanksgiving in here. Grateful for you and Happy Thanksgiving to send us Thanksgiving cards this year. So anyway, I'm just going to put that in. And we're just going to do a little bit of layering now. So I'm going to take one of the larger leaves right here. Did I use a larger one? Nope, I used a smaller one. Smaller one seems to make more sense anyway. There's not a whole lot of room here. So all I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive on the back, and we're going to cover most of it, so it's really not going to show through. So I'm just going to place that right there. Then I'm going to take this piece right here, and I think I'm going to glue dot this to hold it in place. And I'm going to roll a couple glue dots, well, I guess with my finger. I was going to get my tool, but too late, I already rolled it. Let me get one more. And kind of roll it up so it's nice and skinny and doesn't show. And we'll just put a couple of glue dots on here. And flip it over and put one right like this. Okay, and then this one we can use the dimensional. So I'm just going to flip that over. And I'm actually going to try and fit 2 dimensionals on here so it doesn't move around too much. And do this really beautiful gold leaf because I love, love, love this gold leaf. So I'm just going to line up my stems and just put that there. All right, I think that's a really pretty little accent, a little embellishment. It looks pretty, right? We're going to do the same thing on the inside. So you can see I just took the 3 elements. This time I used a larger leaf. We have a little bit more room. So I'm going to take one of those beautiful mesh leaves and just put it here and do this exact same thing that we just did. This though, I'm not going to puff up because I don't want that extra bulk on the inside. But let's roll our glue dot. You could probably just use liquid glue for this as well if you wanted to. Might be easier than having a glue dot fight. What? All right. And I'm just going to use some adhesive on this. Okay, so what have we got left to do? Isn't that pretty? I think it looks really pretty the way it shows up on the white too. And then you could put another sentiment here or write whatever you want. I think that looks really beautiful. Now we want to put a bow to finish up this card. And have you guys seen this ribbon? It is gorgeous. Look at it up close. It's Blackberry Bliss and it's got gold trim on both sides. Whoops. And it is so, so, so pretty. Okay, so let's just tie. It's kind of stiff too. It's not wiry, but it is kind of stiff. So I felt like it was a little more difficult to make a bow with, but I can still play with it and manipulate it to do what I want. It just takes a little bit more work because of it being stiff. And I want to make it a little bit smaller. I don't want a giant bow on here. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Well, this side's just a little bit bigger. All right, that looks pretty good. Not going to be super crazy picky. Let's just trim this up. And we'll use glue dot to adhere the bow. And it'll also, we still have a little adhesive showing through from our dimensional. And I think this is the perfect accent for this. Now I felt like there was a lot going on in here, so I didn't add any extra dots or gems or anything like that. Just kept it kind of simple, and that's it. All right, whoops. I still have my dimensional showing. That's got to go just a tad bit higher. All right. I don't know. I think it's pretty. What do you guys think? Is it too dark? I think it's kind of good for fall. And I don't use Blackberry Bliss too much. How about you guys? Anybody use Blackberry Bliss much? It's funny how certain colors you only, pull out at certain times of the year. All right, you guys, so that is card number 1. Let's go ahead and move on to card number 2. And I think we'll do the gatefold next. All right. Let me put a couple things away. All right, so typical gatefold, right? Inside, we've got this inside again with this. Looks really pretty. You could add another one of those gold leaves in here too if you wanted to, and it does add a little bit of bulk. So this is going to be our next card. And so in this one, I'm using Blackberry Bliss again, but a little bit more of this Blackberry Bliss. It almost like it's got like a purple theme to it for this one, right? And we're using Fresh Freesia on here, so this one's a little more purpley, if you will. Okay. So let's look at our pieces for this card. So if you would like to get all the pre-cut cardstock for the card kit this week, you guys, $35 order more at my Stampin' Up website by Saturday, and I'll send you the kit for 3. It'll include all 3 projects that you can, it's all pre-cut for you. I include the ribbon, the gems, and all the pre-cut cardstock. You just need the bundle to finish the class. This is the host code this week. It's 96JWV69P. Or if you want to order just the kit and not place an order, I sell the kit for $20. Okay? All right. So let's go over our pieces. We have our card base. This is 8.5 by 5.5, but this time we're going to score at 2 1/8 on both sides. 2 1/8 here, flip it around, 2 1/8 here. fold it up the middle, and there is our gatefold base, just like that. Okay. This is going to be on the inside. We're going to stamp on that, so we'll put it aside. And also this little strip, this is 4 inches by 3/4 of an inch, and that's going to go at the bottom right before we put our little embellishment on. So that's going to go on the inside as well. Let's see if I cannot lose that. Okay, we have these 2 pieces. These are 5 1/4 by 1 7/8, and these are also from that DSP, the Regal Winter DSP, and we're just going to attach that to both sides of the front. So right centered in each one. Now, if you don't like these sentiments, you can use any sentiment you want. Make it a birthday card, a thank you card, whatever you need. I think these would make really pretty fall birthday cards. I feel like this one is off just a little tiny bit. Okay, so we've got that going. All right. Let's talk about these pieces right here, because these, again, we're going to do some die cutting. So this is the 6x4. This is Blackberry Bliss. So we're going to use that same die and cut out our pieces again. So that's our frame. Okay, so we're going to end up chopping that up. And then we're going to take these 2 pieces of fresh freesia. We're going to do 1/2 cutout of the frame. And this time we want the big one again. The big one sometimes is better for the words, because the stamp's kind of big, okay? So you can see what we're going to use there. So we've cut that out as well. All right, and then lastly, we're going to cut out a couple more of these little pieces of the ferns. And again, this is fresh freesia. So we've got these 2 pieces here that are die cut. And lastly, another one of those leaves, just 1 leaf from the gold. So you get a little scrap of gold in your kit too to go ahead and make that happen. All right, so now we've got our die cutting done. We need to stamp. So this time I'm not embossing. I am just going to take some Blackberry Bliss and stamp "Have a Perfectly Lovely Day." Make sure I can get this all centered. I'm going to pull it down just a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty good. And now on the inside, we took this and said, "You've got this, dear friend." Now these are 2 separate little stamps, okay? And I've put them together on my block so I can stamp them at the same time. So this is what it's going to look like. "You've got this, dear friend." I'm going to ink this up, and that's going to go in the middle. This is 5 1/4 by 4 basic white, and we're going to stamp it right about here. All right. Does that look pretty good? Let me flip it over and try it again. It missed just a little bit right there. So let's see if we can do it better. Okay, I think that one's better. All right, that's it for the stamping. Pretty easy, right? Okay, let's start assembling. Now, the piece for the inside, since we stamped it, we can go ahead and adhere this down now. And then we'll put it on the inside. Okay, I feel like it's just a tiny bit long, so let's just trim it up a little bit. All right, and then on the inside, we just added a couple of those leaf embellishments again. Let's get out our daubers. On this one, because we're already fresh freesia, the only thing I daubered on was some Blackberry Bliss. Okay, so let's get that done. Again, I'm kind of just going light here. Don't want to get too crazy. All right. Okay, so let's finish off the inside. I'm going to take a big one and a small one. Let You see, I've kind of got them all over the place here. Here's a big one. Some of these small ones are stuck together. Here's a couple small ones stuck together. Let me separate these out. Okay. Like that. Like that. And then let's play with the glue dots again. Do you guys like amusement parks like I do? I'm crazy about amusement parks. I love a super crazy roller coaster, but I like it to be smooth. I only like the smooth ones. Okay, that's it for the inside. So let's go ahead and adhere that down. Then we can start working on the rest of the outside. All right, there we go. Looks pretty, right? Okay, so now we want to take our belly band. So this is 10.5 inches by 1 inch, okay? And all I'm gonna do, first let me remove the glue dot from my finger, is I'm gonna start it about here, and I'm just gonna fold it over because I want it to be kind of tight, but not too tight. And if you like it to look really crisp, then you can go ahead and use the bone folder just to make your fold real crisp. Let me get that glue off of there. Okay. Gluey fingers. All right. Now I'm just going to bring it the other way. And again, I want it to be not super tight because it needs to slide up and down, but I don't want it to be super loose either. And I'm just going to fold it over. Let me just make sure this is nice and crisp so it looks pretty. Okay. All right, now we can go ahead and glue it. So I'm just going to glue from here to here. Oh, I got dangerously close to the edge there, right? Okay, how does that slide? Pretty good. It's kind of tight, but it slides easily. Let me just see if I can remove a little bit more of that glue here. I don't like that. Okay, much better. Okay, now we've already stamped this. This is going to go in the skinny one. So I say, let's try doing the folding and see if the folding and the gluing works. That's not what I did on the last one. What I did on the last one was I took some Scotch tape and just taped along the back so it would stay together. But I feel like it's worth checking this out and see if we can do it this way, because if you look at it, it's going to fit in here perfectly, right? Which, well, there's not much of an edge, actually. How much is over? Okay, we're going to do it, but let's see. I want something to protect my workspace. I'm going to use a little liquid glue, but I'm just going to go very close to the edge with the liquid glue, because I'm not convinced. Otherwise, we're going to get out the Scotch tape and do it like I did the first card, you know, when I originally made this card. So just along the very edge, and this is the fat side, the thicker side. Okay, let's see how that works. I want to make sure it's lined up right. Okay, that's pretty good, right? I'm going to hold it for a minute. I want to make sure that it's going to stay in place right here. The alignment is good. Now I'm going to add a little bit of glue to this side right here. because this purple is going to be, or this Blackberry Bliss is going to be glued to the other Blackberry Bliss. I don't want to go too far there. Okay. Here we go, folding over again. So far, so good. Let me get glue on one of my blocks like I usually do. All right, we'll let that sit for a second. All right, I think we did good, right? Let me put this back together while we're waiting for that to dry. Okay, the other thing while this is drying that we can do right now is, well, let's take some more of that Blackberry Bliss ribbon, and we're gonna tie it around the belly band. Make sure I have enough to tie a nice bow. I love Stampin' Up's ribbon because so much comes on a roll. Like, you can be generous with it. You don't have to worry you're going to run out right away because there's just so much on a roll. Okay, so I'm going to add just a little bit of adhesive to kind of hold this in place on the belly band too. Okay, and then I'm going to glue it to my table because that's really good. I guess I should have put this on one at a time. Let's see. Let me just make sure I have enough. Okay. Right in the middle. That's going to kind of hold it on this side. And then right here. And then let's tie it because we want it pretty close to the edge over here. All right. There we go. Let's play with it just a little bit to get it to be where we want it. Over to the edge. Not too huge of a bow, but it can be a little dramatic, right? So we can make it a little bit big and dramatic. We've got a lot of card space there. All right, let's trim it up. Okay, how are we doing? Is that pretty good? All right, now here's the part also I didn't do yet. I just want the frame. So if you want, you can leave these things here. I don't want, so I'm just gonna cut these off. I want it to be nice and smooth, a nice smooth frame. So I'm just gonna cut all these off. They've served their purpose. They helped us fold over and glue everything in the right spot, right? Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna put this on our card. So I want to make sure I was happy with the way the flowers were facing, which they can face anyway. We're gonna put this on here and we're gonna pop it up with some dimensionals. So I think because the ribbon's here, let me try using minis this time because I don't have that much room. So let me do a couple of minis on, I'm gonna do 3 on each side. Is that overkill? I don't know. I think it's gonna work out good because it kind of is on the sides of the ribbon. Whoa, that ended up being half a dimensional. Okay, let's line it up here like that and just press it down. I think that's really good. There we go, right? Like it, like it, like it. Let's add our embellishment. I'm gonna take 2 of the smaller leaves and we're gonna put the leaves here. So again, a little bit of adhesive here. Put it as close to the words without covering them up. And another one like coming off kind of to the side like that. All right, glue dots, yes. We're getting good at rolling them now, right? Maybe. As I just said that, this one didn't really roll. It's a teeny tiny blob, but that'll work too. Okay, I'm better at rolling with my fingers apparently. So right here. Okay, and did we get out another gold leaf? Let's pop this one up again, like we did before. Can you guys believe it's October? It's crazy, especially it's weird in Texas because it's not fall yet, so you know, you kind of lose track. It's like everything sneaks up on you because, yeah, it's October. The only hint we have of fall at all is that it's starting to get dark a little bit earlier. And actually, it's dark right now. What time is it? 7:45. Okay, there we go. We have that on the bottom, which I think looks really pretty. Now, for embellishments, I decided to use the metallic dots because I wanted a strictly like gold. But here's another alternative. Have you guys seen these? These went with a sweet Regal backed adhesive, Regal foiled adhesive back dots. And looks like I already opened them. These are pretty too, and these go with the suite, so there's some of the colors in the suite, right? But I felt like these ones looked a little more brown, so, I mean, you could use them if you wanted to, but I chose not to use those. I thought, I'm just going to go with the gold ones again. So let me pull out some of those. All right. And these are the ones, they're silver, copper, and gold, so I'm just going to take some gold ones. Whoops. Hold on. And put a big one and a small one. Make sure I'm using the gold ones. And then a small one up here. And I thought those were a really nice embellishment. I like how all the gold coordinates together. So that's what we're doing with that, okay? All right, are we done? I think we did the second one, you guys. Look at it. Pretty, right? I think this is just so pretty. I love it. It's a very elegant card. All right, there we go. And should we add another one just for the heck of it, or do I need one? I don't need one for the last card. So I've got an extra one, and I won't put a dimensional, but let's just put this in here to see how it looks. Okay, there we go. All right, card number 2, done. All right, give you a little bit of an up-close look since we're so far away. All right, we have one card left this week. Just doing 3, and this one is changed, can be beautiful. And so this one we're doing Night of Navy, and we use the print on the Night of Navy print. Have you guys seen this paper? I know I showed it to you in the catalog, but it is really beautiful. I really like this one too, but I didn't use this one yet. This one would be good, you know, with the actual stamp set, the Regal Flora set. So this goes with this paper, right, with the suite. So you have some of these flowers that you can stamp that actually match some of the things in here, right? So I may do something else with this later because I haven't used this yet. And like you could do these flowers to coordinate. It would just be so pretty. But anyway, here is some of the papers. I didn't use this one either. This looks like Wild Wheat. But even nice on the back, we've got some beautiful just patterns. So this is really, really beautiful, beautiful paper. Very, very pretty. Okay, so for our last card, let's get out the pieces for that. This one has a lot of gold pieces. Okay, so what we're gonna do is start with this base piece, okay? And so the base piece is 8.5 by 4 1/4. So you take your full sheet of cardstock, cut it in half at 4 1/4, and then measure it out at 8.5, and then you're going to score it at 3. Okay, so it's not quite in half, it's a little bit longer than half, but you have 3 inches here, and then I think this is 5.5 on this side. Okay, so that is our base. So let's start by layering what goes on that base first. So on the inside, we're going to take a layer of gold and then a layer of the Regal Winter. So this is 5 1/4 by 4, and then this is just an 1/8 inch smaller. So this is 5 1/8 and 3 7/8. All right, so we've got that nice skinny border of gold. So let's start putting some things down. And this is just layering, and we're doing 3 different areas where we're doing the DSP on the gold with, you know, the gold edge. Now, if you don't like to use too much of the gold, keep in mind, you don't have to use the whole piece behind here. You can die cut something out. No one's going to see it, you know, before you put it down. So if you have something you want to die cut out of the gold, go ahead and do it to take advantage of, you know, not wasting. All right, so this piece, how do we like it? This way or this way? I don't think it matters. All right, so this goes right in the middle. All right, so we have 1 layer on here so far. Let's do this outside layer next. So the pieces for this, let me see if I can get this straight. I'm just gonna measure because the other ones are pretty close in size. So I wanna make sure I'm giving you the right ones, okay? So this one is 2 3/4 by 4. 2 3/4 by 4. And then this piece is 1/8 of an inch smaller again. So we've got 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. So again, we're just doing these layers. Nice gold skinny layer again. And then putting that on that side. Okay, now we have the inner card that's kind of a flap. All right, so we've got that. The inner card is kind of a flap, excuse me. And here are our pieces for that. So this piece right here is 8 inches by 3 inches, and we're gonna score it at 4, all right? So we're gonna fold it this way, and then this is gonna be right here, sitting in our card, like that, okay? So let's add the pieces to this. We have another layer of gold with the DSP, and so this one is 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. That's easy, right? 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. And we'll adhere it on here. It's gonna open this way, kind of opposite what you think the normal way is, right? I'm actually gonna flip it over because this side's just a little bit longer. All right, that's centered. And then again, this is a little bit, 1/8 of an inch smaller. So we have 3 5/8 by 2 5/8. Okay. So now we've got that. Now we're going to want to do the inside of here. So we have this piece of basic white cardstock. This is 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. Let's stamp on it before we attach it, just in case. And we have made the beauty of the season. Fill your heart, right? Fill your heart with joy. All right, Night of Navy. Let's get it centered right here. We need room to write underneath it, right? Okay. Now we're going to add just a couple layers for embellishment here. So I have another strip of gold. And let's see what this is. Let me see. This is 3 3/4 by 3/4, and then this is 3 3/4 by 1/2. All right, so we're just adding just an extra little something to the inside. And we'll center this. So we have a top and bottom border in the gold. All right, and we can put this at the bottom. And then we'll put that on the inside of the inner card. All right. I am just covered with glue dots now. Okay, just like that. All right, now we can go ahead and adhere this down, and we're just going to center it on the inside of the card like this. So just find what you think is the middle. Okay, there we go. Now we've got this to flap over like this. Now we can decorate this side. So we're going to take our piece of Night of Navy, And we're gonna go ahead and use that die. And this time we're going to, I think it's the smaller one this time. Yeah, it's the smaller one that we're gonna die cut, okay? So that would mean when you die cut it, you want the thicker frame, and it's gonna cut out the smaller inside, okay? So just take your piece like this, run it through your die cutting machine like that, and it's gonna come out like this. All right, we're gonna use gold embossing again. So let's get our embossing buddy, because it's a dark color especially. I mean, you should probably use embossing buddy for everything that you emboss, but especially the dark. Okay, Versamark. And this time we're doing Change Can Be Beautiful, or any sentiment that you would like. Gold. I think that looks pretty good. I don't think I need to remove much. All right, let us emboss. Warming up. There we go. All right, beautiful. All right, let me put those toys away. Okay. So this one we're going to end up just popping up. We're not going to frame around it, keeping it simple. All right, but let's add some more of the leaves. So I've got a big one and a small one on each side. All right, and I'm just going to adhere these again with a little bit of just seal. So I'm going to put one here and one next to it this way. And I am letting them stick off. Now this one's going to fold back, so I don't want this one to stick off too much because it is going to fold that way, okay? Maybe just a little bit more. And then let's get these guys. I'm going to do the bigger one at the bottom this time. And again, I feel like these show up really nicely on the dark color. All right, dimensionals to pop this up. Whoa. Just right in the middle. Okay, pretty. Let's add some dots. Again, just using the gold ones. Oh. Just like that. I think I want that moved over. That's fine. Okay, now let's add some ribbon. So we do have this gold and silver trim. So I'm going to use some of this gold trim, and I'm just going to tie a bow around this part of it right here. Make sure I have enough. I want to make sure it doesn't get twisted on the inside, because I hate when that happens. And I think I want to tie it just right in the middle. Now, I always have a little bit of trouble tying this skinny. I don't know why. It's hard for me to keep it tight. So if you run into that problem, you can use your reverse tweezer to kind of hold it. See, look at, that's exactly what I'm talking about. See how I have that? All right, time to get the tools out. Let's use the reverse tweezer again. So, because I need a third hand, right? So let's just put this in here to keep it kind of tight. Now I can tie my bow. Like that. Remove this. And that is better. More better. All right. Pretty, pretty, right? Let's trim that off. Okay. That's it, right? We can move this over a little bit. Let me just move it like that. Good. All right, you guys, that's it. That's our third card. That went pretty fast, right? Easy, easy breezy. So, let me show you the cards that we did tonight. Then I'm going to show you a couple other things. I did get some of the new product in, if you guys want to stick around for a second and take a look at what we have from the new online exclusives that are coming out. So here are our cards that we made. Right, that, I think that's a nice collection of cards, right, that you could hand out. Here again is the host code. It'll be in the email tomorrow too. If you would like the project sheet for these cards, it'll be in tomorrow's email if you're on my email list. It looks like this, and that'll be attached to the email so you can open it and have all the measurements for everything. And again, it has instructions if you want to order the card kit. That'll be on there, and also in the email, right? The stamp sale, oh, I did end up printing it out. So we had it. Don't forget about the stamp sale. Just tomorrow is when it ends. These are the two kits I was telling you about that are the new kits. So we have a look back kit, which looks really awesome. I can't wait to open these up. Look at all the fun pieces in these kits. The Alpine Air kit, which I think is awfully beautiful. It's very dreamy. I love it. So I can't wait to play with that kit. Okay, and then so these are some of the online exclusive. There was a lot of online exclusive that you could order, right? I didn't get either one of these sets with my first order, which I know sounds crazy. I wasn't sure about. I'm still on the fence on the otters, but I did get this beautiful, beautiful, what do you call it? It's not ribbon. It's cording, soft cording. It is absolutely beautiful. It's just as pretty as in the picture. It's got a gorgeous sheen to it. So I did order that. And then I actually did order this a couple days later, so it's coming next Tuesday is when I'm getting. Or is it coming Friday? It's coming soon. This Marbled Elegance suite, which is going to be perfect for Valentine's Day. And a couple things I got out of the suite already were these little bags. So there's these little gift bags that for sure we're going to be playing with. There's two different sizes. So these are going to be super fun to play with, not just with this suite, but for a lot of things, right? Because who doesn't need a cute little gift bag to give someone a treat? I mean, this is just adorable, and it'll be so easy to decorate, right? So I ordered some of those. And then I also got the embellishment from that suite, which is these beautiful, here we go with the gold again, right? These beautiful gold hearts. These are very flat, like they're like sequins, basically. Adhesive-backed heart sequins. So I got that. But then also from some of the new kits, here's some of the things that I got. I got the Happy Hibiscus set. Obviously, hibiscus is one of my favorite flowers. I have a bunch of these in the backyard that are still blooming right now because it's still warm outside. And of course, this always reminds me of Hawaii. So you have this beautiful stamp set, Happy Hibiscus. It also has an embossing folder and then dies with it. So this is a really great bundle to get. I'm excited. I can't wait to start making projects with that. Umbrella Days. Isn't this adorable? So cute, right? Stampin' dies for that. Classic wedding. I thought this was beautiful. Look at the little cans for behind the car. I mean, come on. How cute is that? What an adorable wedding card. Also comes with a die set. Let's just open that for a second because... So this stuff just came today. I just got it today. I came home from work and just quickly opened it, but I didn't get to look at anything yet, you know. So I'm just curious what the dies look like with this set. Oh my goodness, look at this, so cute. So look at, for the little cans, a bow. Look at these beautiful hearts. You can never have too many hearts because you always need them for something. Oh, look at all the hearts. And then some flowers, some roses. I love a little banner. Oh, so fun. This is going to be a really fun set to play with. And then I also got this, the cake celebrations, which kind of reminds me of that other set that we recently had, right? Where it was like you could layer the cake layers. So this is going to be good for birthdays. So I'm looking forward to playing with that too. Of course, we got to get some Christmas cards going next, right? Don't forget about Paper Pumpkin. If you want to join Paper Pumpkin, you can get 40% off your first month when you subscribe by October 10th. That's a couple days away. So keep that in mind too. And this one is going to be beautiful because look at, it's got that winterly treetops. Is that the name of it? So it coordinates with something else. Okay. I think that's everything. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. Have a great rest of the week, a great weekend. I will not be here next Tuesday because I will still be in Chicago, but I'll be here the weekend after. So that's the other thing I wanted to mention. If you guys order the card kit this week, it's not going to ship out on Monday like it normally does because I'll still be in Chicago, but I will get it shipped out the following week. All right, as soon as possible, I will get these shipped out to you. All right. Thanks so much, you guys. I'll talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.